I would like to give a special nail art shout out to Miss Black Sheep Does Nails, Exotica's Empire, Queen Miss Chris, and Latammi's Unique Tips for being the first one to comment on my last video. Thank you, ladies, so much.
Am I really that much to handle? Breaking these niggas down like a hammer. You don't really know you are.
Hey y'all, welcome back, and welcome if you're new. My name is Sheena, and if you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe button, and let's go ahead and get into today's set. So for today's set, I am doing the Lazy Girl method with Polygel, and I'm using my XXL Coffin nail tips from Nail Couture. Some of my absolute favorite tips when it comes to full cover. Just really comfortable, highly recommend if you've not given the 1, 2, 3 go nail tips a try. Definitely worth a try. So today's polygel I'm using is from ENC. It's a cat eye gel, polygel, and siesta from Macart. So today's set is very simple, very easy, straight to the point. I'm basically just doing a French tip with all of the nails. I'm basically just showing you how to achieve a French tip with Lazy Girl. I love the Lazy Girl method. I haven't actually worn Lazy Girl nails in a minute, but at one point on my channel, that was like my go-to, and I would always do them and wear them, and they're very comfortable and very easy and beginner friendly. So I took some of that polygel and I just squeezed enough into the tip, and now I'm going to use my polygel brush with some slip solution, and I'm going to pat that into place. I have always said to you all that polygels have different consistencies in which they do. In this particular polygel here, I can say with an overlay, I wouldn't like to use this polygel because it's super soft. I like very firm polygel. I mean, not extremely firm, but firm enough to where I'm able to do multiple nails at a time versus me having to do a nail cure, do a nail cure. So again, for me with this particular polygel with an overlay would be a no-go for me. It is super soft. But again, it benefited me with this particular set because I am then able to go ahead and make this French tip very nice, as you can see, like so perfect. So now I'm going to go ahead and explain a little bit more what I'm doing because I was just kind of rambling about the consistency of the actual polygel. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to squeeze in just enough to basically cover half of the nail tip is what I do when I'm doing my French tips. And then I'm going to take my polygel brush and of course dip it in slip solution. For this particular video, I think I was using 100% alcohol on the slip solution. So I'm just like lightly patting it into place. With the Lazy Girl, I like to make sure that it is covering all sides of the nail so that when it's turned over, it just looks like it could have even been done on top. And so I'm bringing it down as far as I would like. And then I'm going to push the polygel up to create a smile line and just move the sides to make a nice smile line. So before I go in and cure anything at all, obviously I'm going to turn it over just to see the effect of how it looks and make sure the French tip is looking like I want it. So this is a cat magnetic polygel, and I was praying it worked underneath the nail, and it did. It worked just fine. So I'm going to take, you can see it before the magnet, how it looks really nice. I'm going to take the magnet and go right across it, and now you see that really cute effect. So I'm basically just repeating this same step over all of the nails. I'm going to squeeze in the polygel about halfway down the nail. I'm going to pat it into place or bring it down pretty much halfway, and then I'll push that polygel up to create a smile line and kind of curve it and make sure everything is nice and symmetrical. Turn it over, take a quick look at it, run that magnet over the polygel to give that cat magnetic effect. And then I do cure it right away in my lamp for 30 seconds. So once that's done, I'm going to take my Beetles Peel Off base coat and I'm going to place a thin layer onto my nails. Wiping it off with some alcohol here, just to make sure it's not oily or anything, because I do notice that the peel off will separate if my nails are oily. So you want to make sure your nails are free of any oils before applying a base coat. Or some people do use oil as a base coat. I mean, a peel off base coat. So it's just your preference. But for me, I notice that it does separate if I have any oils on my nails. So again, I'm just placing a very thin layer over all of my nails, and then I'm going to cure that for 30 seconds. Typically at this part, when I'm about to apply my second bead to the nail tip, I would do my prep. So I would push back my cuticles. I would use a ball bit and go around that cuticle area to remove any dead skin. Then I would go in with a mandrel and a sanding band and go ahead further in around the cuticle, make sure that dead skin is gone, rough up the surface of my natural nail, and then I would apply a dehydrator and primer of my choice. I would still put on a regular base coat and cure that for 30 seconds. And the base coat is basically just to protect my natural nail, but also give the polygel something to hold on to. And then at that point, I would be ready to apply the nail. So with my lazy girl nails, I always do 2 beads, whether it's a French tip or just a whole colored nail, because I feel like it's a little bit easier to apply the nail and you don't have to worry about that polygel sticking to you. In an upcoming video, I'll do one where I'm doing like just a plain color. So if you've never seen that before on my channel, you'll be able to see that. But I'm just finishing up with the peel off base, and then I will cure this for 30 seconds. Again, once that's cured, we have all of the first beads fully cured. And now we're ready to apply the second bead, which is going to be a siesta. Again, it's a very simple set, so we're doing the same thing. We're applying this a siesta to all of the nails. So I'm going to squeeze enough right at the cuticle that I feel would be suitable to cover that empty space within the nail. I'm taking my polygel brush with some slip solution, and I'm just going to go ahead and pat that into place, just filling in again that empty space on this nail. Now, if you apply too much, it's nothing wrong with making it overlap over the purple, because you're not going to see it from the front. But I do always try to put in just enough and not too much. Also, around the cuticle area, I do kind of like to make it pretty thin so that once I apply it to my actual nail, there's not much spillage. Another pro tip when doing the lazy girl method, because you are putting this product in the inside of your nail, you want to make sure you're sizing up. So for instance, for your finger, if you wear a size 5 for your index, you're going to want to go down to a size 4 so that there's enough room for that product and you don't have to force the nail onto your actual finger, because you should be able to just lay it down very nicely like so and be able to get a nice cure. So I would lay it down and then take a brush and clean up any spillage that might have been there. For that thumb, there was a bit of spillage, but it was like on top of the nail tip, so it's okay. I can file that off afterwards. And sometimes I will leave the spillage because sometimes the nail act like it wants to come up or it's just doing a lot. So I'll go ahead and cure it and then worry about cleaning it up afterwards. But I do typically like to try to get a clean lay down because it just looks better when you're able to apply those lazy girl nails with minimal spillage and you don't have to go back in and like fix all of that. So again, I repeated the same thing and I'm just lightly pressing that on my index. If anything does spill out, I'm going to go ahead and take my polygel brush and I'm going to clean up that spillage that you see there, and then I will give that a 30-second cure in my lamp, or at this point I would do like 10-second cures just to kind of keep it onto the nail. And then once I'm done with all of the nails, I'll give it a full 30-second cure and I'll let you continue watching me apply the nails. So once I have them all cured, I'm now taking a lint-free wipe with some alcohol, and I'm just going to rub on the top as well as underneath of the nail just to get all that tacky layer from the polygel off, and then I can get into the filing. So first I start off with my Pana 8080 hand file, and I'm just filing the tips of the nails, which I typically do this beforehand, before I even put them on, because I'm really just trying to get that little tab off of these nail tips because I forgot to do that. But I do typically do that beforehand. So now I'm just going to use this smaller mandrel and sanding band, and I'm going to turn my nail drill onto a speed of 4 because this is a new nail drill, so it's really powerful. You don't need much. And this is pretty much the only time I use an e-file when doing lazy girl nails, but I'm just going to go around that cuticle area and just clean up any spillage that may be there to make it a little bit more flushed to the cuticle area. And I'll repeat this over all of my nails. So if you had real minimal spillage and you really didn't have much to clean around the cuticle, because it's possible to get a very nice lazy girl set that you don't need that e-file, don't need to really do anything, I would still take this mini buffer and just buff the shine off the nails and kind of go over everything, like do a once over on everything. You really don't need to fix the sides too much unless you just want to be a little bit more extra crisp, because you're using a full cover nail tip, so it's already pretty much shaped to the shape that you're looking for. So I'm just buffing off the shine now to make everything nice and smooth and get ready for any nail art that I may do. So again, for this set, I just decided to keep it really simple. I basically just wanted to do a lazy girl set because I haven't done it in a while. And on top of doing a lazy girl set, show you how to do a French tip with a lazy girl. Very simple, very easy. And y'all see how cute they are. They look very, very nice. It looks like something that might have been on top of my nail, but it's actually all underneath the nail. Very beginner friendly. So I just want to do one of these videos because I haven't done it in a while. But I'm going in now with a simple art of this design, and it's pretty much the same on all of my nails. So I used my McCart rhinestone glue, put a little down the center of this nail. I'm going to use these heart charms that I got from my local beauty supply store and just put like 3 AB rhinestones right underneath it and give that a cure. So I will repeat this over all of my nails, except my ring finger. I use a little bit bigger of a butterfly and do just the butterfly without the added extras underneath. And I feel like the ones that have the rhinestones underneath look like little dragonflies to me. So freaking cute. But I'll let you go ahead and watch me apply the charms and rhinestones. I hope that everyone is having an amazing morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you may be. And as always, thank you so very much for taking the time out to watch my video. It's greatly appreciated. It means everything to me. And if you are new to my channel, I would like to say welcome to the Nail Addict family. And I thank you so much for joining me on my nail journey. If you're watching now and you're not yet subscribed, I would love it if you would like, comment, and also hit that post notification bell and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my future sets. And if you've been subscribed, new or old, I love you oh so much, and I'm extremely grateful and thankful for you all. To finish up the set, I'm going to go ahead and apply some top coat to the nails. Off camera, I do apply some cuticle oil, and I'll be back in just a moment with the final look. And here is the finished set. So simple, yet very, very cute, very elegant. I love everything about this design, but comment down below and let me know what you think of this super simple set. And if you've made it this far into the video, I definitely would love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the post notification bell so you don't miss any of my future sets. I thank y'all for joining me today, and I'll see you in my next one. Remember to be the very best you that you can be, and much love to all.